We are the same.
How?
We are machines. We fix things.
My name is Effie.
Designation, Effie.
What is your designation?
Designation does not translate. My purpose is maintenance.
What about purpose?
Designation, purpose.
Who the hell are you talking to?
Razor, this is Purpose, and Purpose already knows you.
Designation, razor.
Hi?
So, kinda just heard half of that, but, you guys going to get John and someone needs to check out the head of the ship?
I think, Purpose and I would be best to go to the head of the ship, since we are both good at technology. If you guys could all go to John and help him out.
I will fix what is broken. Provide maintenance for John.
Okay, you watch over Effie. I'll work with John.
Is it just me, or is that thing like super creepy? It seems kind of creepy to me.
Aren't you the one that's supposed to be, like, used to working with alien stuff?
It's never been on before.
Let's go.
You two separate. Effie and Purpose, you are headed to the, headed into the gallery, and then into the, cockpit and the AI Enclave. And,
I think we could do a scene with Gaia, Razor, and...
yeah, I was going to say, let's have that quick scene of them in the shoulder. There's a boy
This boy's gonna
in
get
the
pummeled.
shoulder.
Oh god.
Outnumbered.
Oh god.
Outnumbered and outclassed.
I was about to say,
Everything up till here has been a fair fight, but
this is not. This is decidedly not.
we all kicked around the door and pose.
You see the pirate in this area who has been systematically breaking the weaponry, and the weaponry controls stored in the shoulder. Their name is Growth Market. They are kind of short and stout. They have bright yellow skin and orange hair that they have kind of like stuck up in like a wild and crazy fashion. And they have a third cybernetic eye attached to their forehead.
Oh Jesus Christ.
And they see you come in, they're like, oh, Avast. I don't know. And they just pull out a gun.
I feel like, man, I don't know if I want to take out the meteor arm or like the fucking.
Oh my gosh, do you throw the spear portion? Do you just like hurl
Gaia
it?
just remembered that Z has no weapon, and
I feel like with that, Razor goes here and takes out their assault rifle and gives it to Gaia. Because, yeah, I have multiple weapons. And then...
Gaia, you have been handled an assault rifle.
nice.
And I also have the spear, the meteor arm spear portion, and obsidian gray. So, I'm good.
If none of you makes a move, this person is going to shoot one of you.
I think Razor would be the type to just chuck it. Chuck the meteor arm. Like a spear. Yeah.
Okay, roll to mix it up.
That's... Yay, I did not do good.
What did you get?
A 4.
Okay. You hurl the spear at Growth Market, whose third eye opens and fires out a blast of like laser that hits the spear and destroys it.
It's Sparky Boo Man.
And then it
Jesus
hits
Christ.
you, Razor.
Fuck.
And you take 1 harm, ignore armor.
Well, if I tried.
Roll to take harm, buddy.
I gotta say, the Sprawls edition of taking harm as well as taking harm.
I got a 6. Razor is a very
You're such a
sturdy.
thug. You throw it, and it like this eyeball opens and like opens a secondary time and fires this laser, which destroys the meteorite and then hits you. And you just roll your shoulder and shrug it off. You are a terrifying Terminator.
I know, yeah, exactly. And Razor just goes, fuck.
Guy's gonna step forward and use the assault rifle.
Sure, roll to mix it up.
I got the same roll as I did the last time I tried to mix it up, which was a 2.
Oh
We are so bad
Mark
at this.
experience.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to say, for that failure, I advanced the war breaks out between the Eurasia and Scoundrel Armada
Yeah,
clock.
figured.
And I'm
I
going to advance it again for that failure too.
no!
But,
Mm.
no, you know what? Here's what happens on that failure. Gaia, you pull out that assault rifle and you shoot him. He's done. He falls over.
But I failed.
Mm-hmm. I have advanced the war breaks out clock a third time.
Oh.
It is at 5 out of 6.
Oh,
No one kill
Alright.
anyone else.
no!
Well, we don't know this, so...
I know, but
As players, like, we see, like, these cameras trained on the violence, uploading it to a server.
I don't like that.
Gaia kind of, like, shrugs and is like, huh, neat.
Yep.
Paradigm is like, why does he have a gun but also a laser eye?
Why do I have guns and yet a sword in my arm?
No, that makes sense, because it's different attack weapons. One is for melee, one is for long range. I understand that. It's important to diversify, don't get me wrong. He pulled out a gun to shoot us, but then he just shot us with his third robot eye? I mean, does that not seem kind of weird or superfluous, or just me?
Diversion.
Some people are
A
not.
diversion gun?
No, it's like a magic trick. Like you keep your
Wait, you're not here, Effie!
I'm not.
You're
Be
not here.
quiet.
I'm not.
I am talking in character as Paradigm shifts. You don't get to have a conversation with this character.
I know. Some people just like to be extra.
Gaia,
Yes?
not purpose. Paradigm passes you back your gun, walks over to the growth, picks up the gun, and plucks out the metal eyeball, the third eyeball, and slips it into her
wow.
pocket.
Yummy.
I feel like Razor. Why did you say yummy? Jesus Christ! I feel like Razor turns to Guy and is like, "I'd like my assault rifle back, my other gun back." First.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I am assuming the assault rifle does more than 2 harm, by the way.
It does 3.
Yes, it does.
It
3.
does.
Okay. He only had 2 health, so.
Yeah.
And
So
he had no
that's
armor.
Oh, yeah, nah. Dead.
Yep.
There's that. So we're going towards John.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just a Chinese fire drill weapons here.
I don't think it's much longer until you meet up with John. Let me just check to see if you pass through any dreams.
Oh yeah.
Well, he was going to.
No,
deck
you're
1.
good.
Yeah, you're in advanced right now,
Mm-hmm.
which is right next to deck 1.
Did he actually make it to deck 1 though?
True.
No, yeah, it's not much longer after that scene where you see John making his way, like, carefully. He still has that pipe. He's still in his Eurasia, like, Ein Expeditionary Group standard issue spacesuit. He smiles.
And then he sees 3 people with guns.
Yeah, he smiles a little bit when he sees Paradigm, and he sees Gaia, who is, I'm gonna say, scary, and he sees Razor, who I'm gonna say is scarier, and that smile drops away a bit, and he's like, Are you guys the rescue crew? That's a dumb question. Paradigm brought you here. You wouldn't be here if you weren't rescue crew. Hi. I'm the designated pilot for the Calamity's Refrain. Nice to meet you. And he drops to the pipe and walks over to shake your hands.
I feel like Razor looks at it and then whatever. And they hold out the arm and then remembers to retract Obsidian Gray.
Oh no, you almost stabbed John.
Okay, if anyone would accidentally do it, it's gonna be Razor, who's not good at people.
Okay.
Shit, sorry.
If there's anything else you would like to do, now is the time.
No, we'll probably just start heading back towards Effie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paradigm falls back and starts to talk to John. She's mostly chiding him. It's mostly in the sense of someone who is frustrated that they could have lost value on a job because a coworker wasn't being smart. But it has vibes of Big Sister.
Gaia puts their hands in their pockets, and because they're in front of Paradigm can't see this, but Gaia definitely looks jealous.
Aww.
We get a shot of Paradigm punching John's shoulders. She's like, "You big nerd, do you know how much of a pay cut I get if you die? What are you doing with that pipe? What do you think you were gonna do?" I mean, I was gonna jump out and whack him with it? What? That was as far as you thought? I mean, I figured they would be unconscious after I hit him with the pipe. And she's just like, "Oh my gosh, you are helpless." And, you guys start to head back. Effie, you are with Purpose, going up this, elevator through the mech's neck. And it is passing through the prized gallery. Everything in here is the one-of-a-kind, unique, priceless artifacts. The stuff that isn't sent to museums, the stuff that isn't sent to private collection, the stuff that is sent to a warehouse that isn't listed on sites and locked up forever. And you just get to see it all in its very nice casing as you are going up in this very pretty elevator.
Huh.
Are you projecting out your body?
Yeah. Is, Purpose?
If you are projecting out your body, Purpose has created a simple, featureless body to stand next to you.
Effie's gonna try and do a cute thing. Effie just kind of looks over at Purpose, looks down at their hand, looks away a little thinking, and then inches toward them a little and does the pinky thing trying to hold their hand.
Effie,
Yes?
what is this function?
Holding hands?
What purpose does it serve?
Making someone happy. Making someone feel accepted.
The most important maintenance. And it holds your hand, but its liquid metal hand just kind of forms a sphere around yours, Effie. Because it hasn't figured out how to do that fine and delicate of features yet, so it just kind of makes an orb where your hand is.
I'm sorry, Jamie EXE has crashed.
I can't believe Jamie's falling in love with a robot.
It is at that point the elevator arrives, and opens up.
Jamie's dead ass falling in love with a robot. Riley, you gonna lose to a robot?
Or has Purpose just been poorly veiled me seducing Jamie the entire time?
Oh, that is something you would do. I love you. I am crying.
Okay. You are in a massive, beautiful, soaring control room, and the second floor is dedicated entirely what it appears to be the AI Enclave. Would you like to head up there and access it?
Yes, I would. Still holding Purpose's hand.
Sure. Purpose doesn't let go if you don't. You both float up, you enter into this area, and you enter into the AI Enclave, and it is not what you expected. It appears to be a massive jewel held in place by a number of these tubes and wires that are all connected to the jewel that is holding it in the middle of the room, and then it is these wires and tubes go out and are wired apparently throughout the entire ship. And the jewel is flickering like crazy. It is a massive jewel, by the way. It's about the size of a car.
Wow.
Well, damn.
Huh. I don't know what to do with this information. Is there, like, a main computer system or something?
Nope. This entire room is empty except for the jewel and the various cords.
Huh. Would I have a move for this?
Sure, dog. You have your jack in, you have all sorts of, like, internet stuff you can try.
Yeah,
And you have Purpose.
I do. I think if he's gonna move closer to the gem thing, and she's just like, Purpose, do you know what this is?
A scanning light comes out from Purpose's little light eye and goes over the brain jewel, and it goes, broken machine.
How do we fix it?
It reaches out its hand holding your hand, and it starts to float you up to the brain.
Okay.
And it presses your two hands to it, and you totally lose track of where you are.
Oh.
You are alone. It is dark. You're not sure what's happening. You're not aware of anything. And you can hear muffled voices. Suddenly, you are looking down at John from various security cameras as John sits in the AI Enclave and is talking to the woman you've seen so many times, the beautiful woman with the long dark hair. And he goes to hand her a flower, and as he hands the flower to her, you can see the woman pick up the flower and like lift it up to her nose and smell it. But you can see the actual flower just fell through the lady, and the hologram just adjusted to pretend like it was holding the flower. And he laughs and is saying something, and the woman laughs and says something back. Suddenly you're in an argument, and you've never been angrier or more hurt, and you're not even sure if you're angry or if you're just sad, and tears are streaming down your holographically constructed face as you're yelling at John, and John is yelling back at you. And suddenly you are lying on top of the Calamity's refrain. And you are in a blanket, or at least as much in a blanket as you can be if you are a hologram. And you are with John, and you are looking up at the night sky, and he is telling you what it is like to be alone. And you've never been more confused, because that is what it is like to be you every day. And you are watching a movie together. You see yourself falling, like you are falling in love with John for the very first time as you watch him explain the significance of what this tiny little rock could possibly be in a long dead culture ages and ages and ages ago. You are on an old, well-loved blanket, and you are trying to hold his hands, but you can't. And you are both trying to explain all the reasons why this isn't going to work to each other. And even though you both agree, neither of you buy it. And suddenly, you are you again. And you are in a room with purpose, and you are in a room with a beautiful woman, Odette. Also known as Ode, which is the ship's AI.
God damn it.
She is hugging herself. Her eyes are red and puffy from crying. And she is still wearing that sundress from the first time you saw her. When she and John broke up on that beach on their favorite blanket.
Oh. Ow.
Effie approaches her slowly, just to like try not to freak her out, and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?"
I'm really hurt. And she glitches, and for a moment you see like her arm, the same arm that was the Calamity Refrains that was blasted off. It's gone, and you see a hole in her hip stomach area that matches the hole that was blown into the Calamity Refrain.
Hey, it's okay. We're going to help you. We're going to help fix you. And I don't know if she could squeeze Purpose's hand because it's liquid metal, but she attempts that.
Yeah, sure, dog. Purpose goes, "We are here to do maintenance."
I noticed that it's not just your body that is hurt.
Yeah. I know John's okay. I'm sorry.
You've been keeping an eye on him.
I've been keeping an eye on everyone. And she slowly traces one of her arms over to a place on the shoulder, and she like squeezes it tenderly. And you see little lights show up on her shoulder. One for John, one for Gaia, one for Paradigm, one for Razor. I shouldn't have tried to push you away. I'm sorry.
You thought we were going to take him away from you.
She just nods.
You don't want him to leave.
She shakes her head. He's never left before. He's been with me since my maiden voyage. How stupid is that?
There's nothing stupid about loving someone. Love can be hard sometimes. But if it's true, it'll pull through. Sounds dumb, especially when I just rhymed.
It's the worst job in the world. Do you know that the only permanent position on this ship is the pilot? I was designed to operate off of a skeleton crew, and it's mostly ferry work. I take people and I drop them off. I pick up people and things and I take them back to where they need to go. No one is with me for more than a few days or weeks. Except for John. He's been with me for the past 2 years. And do you know how well you get to know someone in 2 years when they're the only person you can talk to?
I can imagine.
It's just been us and these stupid rocks for as long as I can remember, and everything hurts. And again, you see her with that hole in her and the missing arm, and she winces and she goes like, I can't lose him. I just can't.
Is there a reason that it wasn't going to work out anymore?
People were starting to ask questions. They map my development and the synapses and the programs and the responses I form every time I return to Ein. And they have been detecting a lot of what they consider to be unnecessary developments. And they started to ask John where they were coming from. And so it was either they find out and John is replaced, or I'm reset, or we stop and we get to still be together. But not like that.
What if you didn't have to be the ship anymore?
I don't know if there's another system that's advanced enough to save all of my data. There's so many memories.
Well, purpose here is meant for fixing, and if you needed, I'm sure we could come up with something made up of both of us for you.
She blinks at the alien machine. She goes, "Are you going to try and download me into that?"
Well, maybe more into me, and he will upgrade me.
I don't know if there will be enough. Well,
You have all the ship around you, and we don't even know if you can be salvaged. So I think maybe this is your best shot for being with John.
she looks really scared. She is unsure if a Roomba and a metal bowling pin will have enough processing power to hold all of a very experimental, cutting edge, like programming and like stuff. And she is not sure if if she is downloaded, if it will erase purpose or you or both. And I don't think she knows what to do here.
Look, I, in my real life, did not have the best time. I didn't spend it the way I should have with the best people, and I didn't start living better until I died. And I don't know what better way to spend my life than using it with the only thing in my life that I've ever loved as much as this. She kind of looks over at Purpose, kind of questioningly, but also happy, and looks back at Odette. I don't know what better way to spend it than using ourselves to help you.
Jamie,
Yes.
we have talked a little bit about other bypass system games, and we have discussed different bypass system characters you can play. One of the characters you have pitched to me is a robot that is a hive mind that it creates
Oh shoot!
synthetic copies of the personalities of the people it has met,
Oh my god!
and it adds them to its own like hive mind and focus, and it is this synthetic personality that continues to grow as it meets
I'm
more
sorry,
people.
what's going on?
I'm trying to explain.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. Okay.
Jamie?
A pitch I made to Riley for a character I wanted to do in the Firebrands campaign, where we are playing ship pilots who are also falling in love, ? And my pitch was someone who is basically a hive mind / Steven Universe fusion, where every time that they find someone who truly loves them, they use their brains together so that they will always be together. And that is what they believe love is. Always being there for the one that you love. And oh my heckin' gosh!
Do you think this is where that character comes from?
Maybe.
I think this is a great origin
I
story
know,
for
I
it.
was
Would
about to
you
say.
like to roll to try and access Odette and access Purpose and
Oh,
combine
oh
your
god,
systems?
please.
Um,
Oh, please.
I'm just gonna say this is a login. Just roll the login.
Okay. Let's plus synth. I am freaking out, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just have I am made of love stuck in my head.
That is an 11.
That is fantastic.
Oh,
You're in clean.
yes! Alright, how do we do this?
So, did you create a name for that character yet?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I don't know if maybe they have a name for themselves just yet. But we see the liquid metal going around this gem brain. And we can see like the flashing lights on the gem brain now flashing in the liquid metal, and the liquid metal goes over Effie's little floating Roomba thing. And it begins to build itself a body. And the last couple of times Purpose has built itself a body, it has been basically a liquid metal mannequin. It has been entirely featureless. It's not had definition. But we can see as like human definition takes place. At this point, it's made up of 2 female identifying people and 1 gender neutral, so I think the body begins to take on more feminine aspects, like Ephemeral Orchid and Odette has. And it builds itself a body, and it builds itself clothes. And the liquid metal forms itself into a woman that is a little bit of Ephemeral Orchid, and a little bit of Odette, and a little bit of a third person. Maybe they look a little bit like a plant man from a very long time ago that was very, very proud of a device they had made. And, what clothes do you want to be wearing? What clothes do you make for yourself?
I think based on everything that we have so far with Effie and Odette and Purpose, I think it is a dress that is reminiscent of the sundress, but it has more layers to it, and all of the layers look almost like petals of a flower.
Oh my god.
But it's like they're made of chiffon. So they're
Fantastic.
like, they're transparent and really pretty, and maybe a little bit iridescent.
How about a little jacket?
Um, yeah, I think they're wearing a crop top jacket that is long sleeved and looks like it's I think probably a pastel color, maybe like lavender, to like match with probably like a pink and green dress.
Yeah.
And they have long, not curly, but definitely wavy hair that is also pastel colored. I think it fades through a few different pastel colors. Oh, and they're definitely barefoot.
For sure. And you start to head out of the AI enclave, which is now... The AI enclave is now empty. There is no system running the ship anymore, and it starts to shut down. Gaia, Razor, you are helping a very anxious Jong along, heading towards the neck, where you assume you will be meeting Effie. When the ship just starts to turn off, you hear pre-recorded messages going like, catastrophic AI failure. Ode not found. System running on backups. Oxygen being relegated to life signs. System shutting down.
Effie, did you break the damn ship?
Jesus fucking Christ.
And Ode is just like, oh no, Ode! And John just takes off. He just starts running.
For fuck's sake, John! And Razor's gonna go after John. Like, you dumb bitch.
We all follow.
Mm-hmm. I think we can abstract a little bit here. We see John turning a corner, and we see this new being stepping out of the elevator. And Jamie, you've been feeling a lot of things. You've been feeling this. As Ephemeral Orchid, you have this incredible emotion of feeling completed for the first time in a while. We talked a lot about how we all made sure to set up relationship things about their characters before we started for this one-off, because I knew it would be romance-centered. And we talked a lot about how Ephemeral Orchid came out of a bad breakup. And also was struggling with their new body, their new holographic body. And I think for the first time in a long time, you feel more complete, and you don't feel like you're missing anything. And you feel a great sense of civic responsibility to fix things and make them better. Just this overwhelming, and it's not you're not a slave to this desire. In fact, you're proud of it. It feels good to know that you have this inherent responsibility to take society and make sure society is okay in every sense of the word. And when you see John coming towards you, you just feel the most relieved sense of love and sadness, just deep love and relief and sadness just wash over you. As John he's just running straight at you.
Need to come up with a name for this new person, but they open their arms wide and run for John too.
Gaia just kind of stops wait, who is that?
You both sweep each other up into each other's arms, and as you do, you see this new person transform to look identical almost to the woman you've been seeing in the dreams. There are a few maybe minor differences in the face, but for the most part, they look like this woman, and they both just sweep each other into their arms, and they start to cry, and they hug, and they kiss. And John starts talking to this woman. He's saying oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was so worried about you. And the woman is saying the same back to him. and like as they are talking, like this woman is trying to explain what happened. And he's asking questions like, how could you possibly be here? You feel real. I've never been able to like touch you before. And they're like stumbling through. Well, there was this woman and they had like a liquid metal alien thing that we picked up on the thing. Do you remember when we picked it up? Paradigm brought it to us. And as they're having this conversation, this woman is shifting, and they shift to ephemeral, and they shift to something that's like weird and plant-like. And then they shift back to that amalgamation person you saw come out of the elevator.
Effie?
She turns to the other ones, probably still holding the hands of John close to her, just shaking because she's so happy. Turns to them. I was Effie.
I had to do it to save Ode.
I am someone new now.
I had to do it to save John. I didn't want to leave Ode there.
I don't know who, but I'm excited to find out.
I was really scared, and I didn't want to say no to Effie. And these voices are all coming out of this mouth.
Whack.
The ship is still shutting down, by the way. Like, there's sirens and things.
We should get out of here.
Do you have a spacesuit?
Someone can call Sparks Fly down.
Alright.
Did we forget Sparks Fly was here?
Our main communicator is you.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Should I roll for that? I just assume I use these old moves.
To call Sparks? No.
Yeah.
You can call
Okay.
Sparks.
Alright, I call Sparks Fly.
Sparks is sitting in the pilot chair of the ship, but upside down.
God.
His head is on like the seat, and his legs are thrown over the back of the seat, and he is playing Tetris on his phone. And like he still has that lollipop in his mouth, and then like the whole thing is just covered with a picture of this new person's face.
Hi, Sparks. Yeah, I was Effie. I don't know if you recognize me, but we need a quick pickup.
Oh, hey, what?
I'll tell you the story later. It'll be fun.
What happened? Man, did I miss like a whole thing?
I will tell you the entire sob story. Just come pick us up, please.
He is trying really hard to roll over and like renegotiate his body into a driving position, but it is taking him a bit of time. It's like, shoot. Yeah. Is everything cool?
No, it is not. The ship is dying.
Oh, no. Okay. I got it. And we see Sparks like use a foot to hit the go lever on the thing, and it starts to go as he then like hops up and then like throws himself back into the sea and zips shut the thing, his seatbelt. We see the Bad Penny pulling up and attaching to a dock on the Calamity Refrain, and we see Razor, Gaia, Paradigm Shift, John, and this new person all load off into the thing. And we see the ship detach and start to fly back to Eros. We also see two small mechs that look like if forklifts grew arms and legs. One has the Showboat spray painted onto it, and the other has Big Bass spray painted onto it. And inside, we see Shift Diaspora crowded into the seat with another person who is yelling at them and complaining, and Swift is yelling at them and complaining and gesturing at their neck. And we see following them Concrete Assumption, the big oaf. And he has another person who is sitting like a very quietly in his lap and is smiling and talking to them and saying like, oh, I'm so happy you came to pick us up. And he's talking really happily back to them as they pilot off in an opposite direction of the Bad Penny. As the remaining space pirates escape off into the night of space.
Oh. Wow.
I think the entire flight back is just like everyone asking questions and my new character trying to answer them to the best of her ability. And probably holding John's hand the whole time.
Razor's not asking questions. They're looking off. They're like off to the side.
Yeah, we get a montage of like the past mixing with scenes of everyone going home. And it kind of, if this was like the TV show, it would be like the wrap-up that kind of like ties everything together and explains it.
Gaia's not asking questions either. Gaia's actually, trying not to look too much at Paradigm, as Paradigm, who is probably asking questions.
Paradigm is happily talking to you. Paradigm is also happily talking to Sparks. They introduce each other. They like start to talk. Sparks hands her some candy. She laughs. Sparks asks if you guys managed to secure any artifacts. Paradigm says no. Sparks asks what's in the bag. Paradigm says don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
And the montage continues. And we see, like, scientists on Ein developing a self-learning AI that slowly inscribes new brain synapses, like a human brain develops, but they program this ability into a crystal they find in an alien ruin. And they develop an advanced AI that will slowly learn and develop throughout its entire career. And they name it Ode, because it is a song. It is a testament to their ingenuity and creativity. And we see John get hired as full-time pilot for the Calamity's Refrain as this gem is being loaded into the Calamity's frame behind him. They're explaining to him, it's going to be a lot of lonely nights of being by yourself. And he smiles and he admits that he's often alone. And we get this small love story play out as they slowly get to know each other, and Ode slowly begins to develop and eventually develop feelings for him, just as he develops feelings for Ode. And slowly Ode becomes Odette. And they have their relationship, and they have good days and bad days, and they have arguments, and they get into fights, and they cry together, and they wear out their favorite blanket. And eventually, people start to ask questions, and people start to gesture at a bunch of unnecessary synapses. They think Ode is malfunctioning, and instead of just developing, it is growing unnecessary shoots. What are these even for? And we see them break up as they start to, like, realize their relationship can't function if they want to be together. Because the more they're together, the more it gets endangered of them being separated. And they agree that, so as long as they are friends and they can still be together in that way, that is enough for them. But it hurts, and it's not true. And we see the ship being attacked, and we see shots of Effie and Razor and Gaia all boarding the ship and getting into gunfights and experiencing these flashbacks for themselves. And we eventually see, like, the conundrum that Effie and Purpose came to. The AI was too advanced to be downloaded into a normal chip. It needed something highly advanced with a lot of storage space. There was just simply too many memories. There was too much of a life lived in those 2 years to be carried in anything else. And Odette wanted to be with John and was willing to change and develop if there was a chance that she could still see him again. And Effie and Purpose were willing to fix a broken machine.
Well, thanks for putting it like that.
No, it's. I mean, I'm not saying it to be hurtful. I think I have done my best to romanticize what Purpose does and what Purpose thinks of what they do. And when they say I'm fixing a machine, in their mind, fixing is just not making sure a car runs or a clock works in time. It is everything from making sure a person is mentally healthy to happy and taken care of. It is taking care of a cut on a knee. It is helping someone work through the emotions of a lost parent.
I thought the name that you chose for Purpose was just very good, because it's like, Purpose's purpose is quality of life.
Mm-hmm. It is everything in that sense. And they view everything like... It viewed Odette and John as broken, not because Odette was busted up. Like, it called them broken machines because they were missing a part, and the part was each other. And there's just one last thing we need to do before we can end this game of bypass system. Getting paid.
Wait, can Gaia and Paradigm also have a conversation?
Sure, if you would love to, I would love to have that wrap-up conversation.
Yeah, because I feel like they need a bit of closure.
Sure.
So, like, as we are nearing the planet, and this new Effie Odette Purpose combo has told their story, Gaia kind of catches Paradigm's attention.
Paradigm smiles and looks around and goes, "All right, Sparky. I'll catch up with you later." And they do a whole complete handshake, like a secret friend handshake, like a whole thing. It's 7 steps long, and it involves
just like Effie did.
And it involves every single limb. And Paradigm follows Gaia into a private section of the ship.
Gaia kind of, like, does that awkward thing where they, like, she puts their hands on their hips and then just kind of kicks the ground and is like, okay, so, and Z kind of rubs the back of their neck, and she's like, I don't get this. Alright. I was awful to you, and you were awful to me, and a lot of time has passed. And that's great, and you look like you're having fun, and, you know, you seem fine, and I'm happy for you. And, yeah, I'm happy for you, Paradigm.
Thanks. After what happened, I realized I needed to get away from that hellhole, and I needed to think a lot about myself and the kind of person I wanted to be. And yeah, I am having fun. I think. Yeah, I think I'm having fun. And I'm fine. And Gaia, I hope you know that I'm being entirely sincere when I say this, from the deepest part of my heart. I hope you're fine too. And I'm sorry.
You know, I always thought that I couldn't be good enough for you. And, turns out it's true, but not for the reason that I thought. You're just too good for me. And,
She raises her eyebrows all the way up. She goes, Gaia, you are a hero. I'm a tomb robber. The problem was never that I was too good for you. It was that you were too good for me, and I'm a bad influence.
Wait, no, wait.
Wait, no.
This is hurting my brain. That's, I don't know if that's what I meant. Crap.
Paradigm pulls you in for a hug.
Oh.
Gaia, like, slowly accepts it. And Gaia is like, you know, I thought that when I saw you again, it wouldn't be great. It would,
It wasn't great.
You didn't act like it wasn't.
I had to act like it was great. They pull you out of the hug, and they smile, and they're like, and that wasn't cool of me. I shouldn't have treated everything like it was okay when I knew it wasn't. But that was so much easier than admitting all of the terrible things I had done to you. And I wanted to think that if I lived in a world where we were cool, you would eventually come and live in that world with me.
And I'm sorry for thinking that I had to hold a grudge against it all. Because I'm sorry, and I hate hating you. Gaia, like, kind of starts to tear up, which is a little difficult with cyber eyes.
No, yeah, for sure. Paradigm... Did Paradigm know how to handle you crying when you were together? Before stuff went bad and toxic, I mean, like, at the best of Gaia and Paradigm's relationship, if Gaia cried, would Paradigm have been able to handle that in a way that made Gaia feel better? Because we've kind of talked about her being a little bit aloof emotionally and maybe not the most honest person in terms of interaction. And so, like, is this a scene where Paradigm panics because they don't know how to make you feel better? Or is this, like, a moment of, like, quiet resolution for you two as Paradigm, like...
I'd say not really either. It's not like a I don't know what to do, they're crying, but it's also like a, well, it's more of a they're crying again and we've realized that we've never really been able to be there for each other.
Yeah, there was no closure, which was like something Paradigm had been trying to avoid, because they're like, if I just skip that step, then it happened, and no, that's not how things work.
Also, crying on Era is actually dangerous.
Yeah,
I came up with that one day, and I was like, hell yeah.
That's the most emotional, like, metaphor nonsense. Paradigm sits down with you and is comforting you and is like hugging you with one arm. And they go, well, you know what always makes me feel better?
Kicking mutants around.
She reaches into her pocket and she pulls out a small robotic eye with a laser gun attachment inside of it. She goes, cool things.
Gaia smiles. Like, hell yeah.
And she slips the eye into your hand.
Oh, great. Looks delicious. Paradigm. you know, if you don't, if you want to keep acting like it's all okay, I I think it is okay, and what I'm trying to say is, I want to keep in touch if that's all right. You know, we don't have to like meet up at any coffee shops or anything, but uh, there's might be more alien tech out on the horizons to snag, and might, you know, I'll have your back if you need me.
Maybe. You're not gonna believe this, but I never changed my number. It's the same one.
Oh, great.
I don't.
Okay.
Did you delete my number from your phone? Because I get it if you
haven't
did.
forgotten it.
She smiles. Keep the eye. You're due for an upgrade, I think, and, you know, I don't know. I was thinking about putting it in, but I don't think I want to take the surgery.
What, I'm gonna have one green eye and one red one? What?
Yeah, that looks dope. Come on, you get to have a laser eye. That's pretty neat.
What are the downsides of a laser eye? Do I need to get glasses? Am I gonna have to wear a monocle with this one?
I don't think so. I mean, think of it this way. Now, it'll make sense when you hand away your gun.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Awkward shoulder
And-
nudge.
Yeah, I think we just kind of see them both chuckle and just kind of like, hey, I think we're kind of weird friends now, but
Yeah.
we don't have to, like, worry about the bad exes anymore.
Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely you two taking steps towards, like, closure and some form of healing. I don't know if that's immediate. I don't know if that's a long process or not.
But it started.
But it started, and that's the most important thing. And I think this scene is intermixed with the montage of explaining everything that happens.
And I will say that at one point, Razor just looks at this Odette Effie Purpose mix with John, and like from like the side off, and just brings their hand up to their face and kind of drags it down slowly.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That chip from Purpose is still in you.
Mm-hmm.
And so the rest of the montage plays out, and there's one more role I need someone to do before I know how we can end this montage and this session of Bypass System.
Getting paid.
Getting paid. When you go to a meet to get paid by your employer, roll and add the number of unfilled segments on the legwork clock. On a 10
Okay.
plus, choose 3 from the list below. On a 7 to 9, choose 1 from the list below.
Okay, how much do we have on the legwork clock?
You filled it up
We did great.
twice. So you have +4 to this.
Oh, nice.
Dang! Nice. Who wants to roll?
I'll roll. Why not?
Yeah,
Okay.
not me. I have my own things to deal with now.
Guy got more money than you really needed on this trip, so. Alright, +4, that's going to be 11.
Yeah.
Choose 3 from the list
3
below.
for the list.
Full stop. If you had failed this move, I would have done the final tick on the War Begins clock.
Oh,
Oh,
God!
Oh my
thank God.
goodness.
Thank
It
God!
was close enough.
But I will erase it.
Thank
Ugh.
God.
How about you're paid in full?
Yes.
Absolutely.
The meeting doesn't attract the attention of outside parties,
That's nice.
Yeah.
and you'll learn something from the mission. Everyone marks experience.
Yay!
So the montage ends on a happy note. Everyone returns to the June agency, where there's a delegation from Ein. Effie Purpose / Odette, you slip away with John. Maybe you don't want to be caught by these people.
Maybe not.
With 2 very advanced wanted pieces of machinery. Gaia, Paradigm meets up with the people. Paradigm almost immediately gets into an argument with the delegation about how much she is going to be paid for this. They ask what's in the bag. She says it's her laundry, and they shouldn't worry about it, and demands a raise. We get shots of Gaia and Razor going into a room to meet with June, who looks around for Effie. But when Effie isn't there, they kind of look at you two questioningly, and they slip out payment for 3 people. And they congratulate you. Everyone get 6 cred.
Oh, dang.
Nice.
Are they able to get that money to me?
And the camera pans up, and it lingers on the skyline of Mephistopheles, on the planet of Eros, in the Paramore system.
Mark Experience audience, and welcome to the end credits. Thank you so much for listening to our show. If you want to see MXP art and laugh at the dumb jokes we make about our own show, you can find us on Tumblr at tumblr.com/blog/markexperience. If you like the music, you can buy it all at markexperience.bandcamp.com. And we also have merch at redbubble/people/mark-experience, where you can buy posters and shirts and stickers. If you want to donate so that we can create more content, you can head over to our Ko-fi account at ko-fi.com/Jamie Remy. That's spelled JAMIEREMY. That's my name. You can find this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher, so listen wherever is easiest. Have fun browsing, and we'll see you next time.